Hi, everybody, and welcome aboard to Local Matters, where living local never felt so good. We're going to meet a local actress who is really making a name for herself in Hollywood. She has appeared in Clint Eastwood's Sully and Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. She says she wanted to stop by Local Matters to share her experiences with a community that is near and dear to her heart. We invite you to join us to meet a local actress turned Hollywood actress with local branches far and wide, because if it's local, it matters.
Yes. Let me see you move.
Love never felt so good. Dead and die, they never could. Not like you. Oh.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Local Matters. You know, they say there's no place like Hollywood. Joining us today is a local actress who can tell us if there's some truth to that. She's here to share her experiences with a community that holds a special place in her heart. Welcome to Local Matters, Miss Laura Lunday Will. Wow, good to have you aboard.
Thank you for having me.
I just want to start off, look, here we go. So you are an actress, you are a wife, an attorney, a producer, and a business owner. When do you sleep, girl?
Well, recently I feel like it's not been sleeping, but I think in order to do all that I want to do or get accomplished, that's kind of what I have to sacrifice at this point.
Right, so you've been working really hard. And I also understand you are a JSU Gamecock graduate.
Oh yeah, go Gamecocks.
Yep, go Gamecocks. So tell us a little bit about this experience. You've done some amazing things, and we're going to be talking about that in just a few moments in Hollywood. But you graduated from Jacksonville State University with a degree in
Drama.
drama, and so I would imagine, of course, you did a few plays at JSU.
Yeah, I got to do 3 plays over there at JSU during my 4 years of college, and it's really what changed, I guess, my view on acting and the instructors there. I got to train with a phenomenal instructor, specifically Susan McCain, that just completely shaped the way I viewed acting.
I hear so many good things about Susan McCain.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm a JSU Gamecock graduate, and she wasn't there then. I studied under Dr. Carlton Ward.
Okay.
Who, of course, he is the
he was there.
infamous
Yeah.
Dr. Carlton
Oh yeah,
Ward.
I had shot class with him.
Yes, and so, and here's the thing. I mean, being in acting, when you were there with JSU, was that the place where you sparked this love for acting? Was at JSU?
I would say it's a place that shaped how deep my love for acting was. I had performed before, I'd done local theater, I had taken acting classes in Atlanta, but it was the place that it just opened up another world of acting to me, because it showed it in a light that was this reality.
Right.
If that makes any
Yes,
sense.
it does make sense. It does make sense. And you said in Atlanta. Now, are you from Atlanta? Where are you from, Laura?
I'm from Cedartown, Georgia.
From Cedartown, Georgia.
Yeah, it's just over the state line.
Right. So anyway, so let's go back. So you graduate from Jacksonville State University, and then you realize that, okay, so I'm going to go on and I'm going to law school.
Yes.
You're going to law school. So you get your law degree. Where did you get your law degree?
At Cumberland School of Law over in Birmingham.
All right. Are you a practicing attorney now?
I am, yes.
Wow. Oh my gosh. This is again, when do you sleep? So in having achieved those things, having your degree from Jacksonville State University, and then you graduate from Cumberland with a degree in law, when do you begin to realize that, okay, so I'm an attorney now, but I still need to act? Where does that come into play?
Yeah, it's very interesting, because I recently got to go back to Cumberland and speak to the class about kind of balancing your passions outside of the law, and it made me reflect on exactly that question. And really, it was between my 2nd and 3rd year of law school that I just realized that I was missing something. I had kind of taken a break from acting. Right. And so I went out to California, went out to Los Angeles during the summer, and trained at the Lee Strasberg Theater and Film Institute. Okay. And I realized what I was missing. And so I knew when I got out of law school, I needed to give it a shot, see what it was going to do, if it was going to do anything, and or I was just going to regret it.
And so when you realized that you wanted to go out, as you mentioned, went to California, at that time, what type of homework had you done about how do you make it in the business? Because I know that you were going to be, one of the reasons that you're here is that you're going to be speaking and working with Jean Tafari Ellison. She's going to be joining us on set a little bit later in just a few moments. But you're going to be speaking with Jean Tafari Ellison, and with her company, Music Box. So you're going to be talking with folks there and some of the students there. But in doing that, when did you realize I really can't do this on my own?
And it's exactly that. That's why I wanted to come in and talk with and teach or instruct this class, is because when I started out, it really was kind of like, okay, I want to get started, but how do I get started? And so I did research online, and I luckily had a couple people that I could ask the kind of, I guess, ridiculous questions to, if there can be ridiculous questions. And I realized that I needed to get an agent. That was the first thing I needed to do if I wanted to go on auditions and have access to roles that otherwise I would not have access to. Right. And then I just started researching agencies and going online and saying, okay, well, does this one, look legitimate? And does this one not? And I started submitting, and I luckily on the second go through, because the first time nothing happened, nobody contacted me. And the second go around, after I had an agent reach out to me, she was like, listen, and I'm really interested in talking with you, and the rest is history, I guess.
So when you're looking and seeking an agent, do you send them anything physically? Do you send them pictures right off, or you just basically send sort of something like a curriculum vita, if you will?
Yeah. So it depends on each agency, and normally they have a page once you go to their website that says how they want you to submit. Some people will say email us at this, or some people will want snail mail. But overall, they typically want your resume, headshot, and footage if you have footage.
Right.
Because that is what you're auditioning for. They want to see how you look on camera.
Exactly.
At the time, I had very limited footage. So the only footage I really had was from a film class at Strasberg Institute where I had performed a scene. But at least it gave them a way of seeing, okay, this is how she acts. So if we send her on auditions, hopefully she's going to know what she's doing.
Right, right. So, and that's something, that the fact that they could see that, it doesn't take a lot in terms of that. But here's the thing, does it take a lot when you're talking about money? Because most people feel, I can't afford to break into the acting world, because most people believe that they have to really have thousands and thousands of dollars to hire an agent.
So that's the first red flag to me. You never pay an agent. They money. So if they are asking you for money, then it's just no. You need to disengage in the situation.
Oh, good.
They work on contingency basis, strictly on contingency basis. So they get paid when you get paid, and so in a way that's making them work harder for you too.
I was just getting ready to say that I like when companies have those types of strategic to them, when they have that in place. I like that, because you know that they are going to work even more harder, because they know if they don't make any money for you, then they're not going to get paid.
Absolutely.
I like that. Here's another thing I would like for you to share with this. What else would you say to young people who are wanting to break into the business? Do they need to come with this whole idea that I need to look a certain way, I need to go in with tons of makeup on and make sure my hair is all, what are they really looking for?
I think I'm still even developing this realization, but my opinion and what I've experienced thus far is really it is be yourself, because then you are your unique own personality. You can't be anyone that you're not. And that's what they're looking for. They're wanting to see who you are individually. What are you specifically going to bring to this character? Not how could you mimic so-and-so doing it.
Exactly.
And I've gotten much farther in callbacks and even in roles by just being myself.
Just being yourself.
And because that's what makes you you, and that's why they want to see that. They want to see that little spark, that little, oh, she is so different, or he is so different.
And that means so much. I'm glad you're sharing this with them, because a lot of people, I do believe, go in thinking, I want to be like Halle Berry. I want to be like Beyonce. I want to be like,
all?
and right, I do.
That would be great.
But here's the thing, we've got to go to break. I hear my director in my ear, but when we come back, we're going to talk about this, because I believe that the Atlanta Journal-Constitution actually, they wrote a piece on you about something that you have. It's a very unique quality that not many actresses have in Hollywood. So I want to talk about that particular quality when you mentioned being yourself. So we're going to be right back with more Local Matters. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Local Matters, where living local never felt so good. I'm Dottie Rimsey, and I'm joined with Miss Laura London. Will, right. I got it right. I mean, I can go blank, and people know that when it comes to names. But so good to have you here with us. Now, if you're just joining us, we have been talking about Laura's magnificent work that she's been doing in Hollywood. She is a JSU graduate, and she did a lot of work there at the university in acting. And she's stopped by here because she's going to be actually working with Jean Tafari Ellison with the Music Box in Anniston. She's going to be doing some work with her students there. But I wanted to have her stop by, and I'm so glad she wanted to stop by because you are truly an actress. You've actually made it. When you can say that you've worked alongside people like Tom Hanks, you've Clint Eastwood, you know, to me, you have made it. But I know you're probably saying, not yet.
No.
There's still so much to do.
Yeah.
Still so much to do.
I guess that's the burden. If there is a burden of acting, it's okay. Well, I've done that. Now what?
Exactly.
You know, because unfortunately, as an actress, I guess that is the only downside. Is when you're not working, it's technically unemployed.
Right. So
Even though you might still have a love for it. You know, you're not having work for it.
Exactly. So this is the thing. You know, you worked alongside, as I just mentioned, you worked alongside Tom Hanks.
Yes.
And before we went to break, we also shared that many times when people are wanting to go into pursue that type of career, they feel like they need to be or they want to go in feeling as though they need to be like somebody. I need to be like maybe Lauren Bacall and sound like Lauren Bacall or Halle Berry or whomever. And we talked about, you mentioned to us and helped us to understand that it's really important just to be yourself. And I mentioned to you that I read something, did some research, that you had this unique quality that very few people have in Hollywood. Can you share with us what they were talking about?
Yes, it was my Southern accent.
Southern accent.
Come to find out, it's not very apparent, or not. A lot of people have it in the entertainment world, and it was interesting when I was first starting to audition. A lot of times the critique was, "Hey, can you do the audition, but can you do a neutral accent?" Which, you know, when I need to, I can. But it also, I found, kind of took away a big part of who I was, because you express yourself differently when you're using different accents.
Of course you do.
And I found that when I used my accent is actually when I got cast. That's when I booked the Ang Lee movie, Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk.
Yes.
And also the Clint Eastwood movie, Sully. So I think it's interesting that although people were saying, don't use that, when I just trusted myself and used it is when I booked.
That's right. Because the only person I can think of right now that really comes to mind with the unique Southern accent, of course, is Reese Witherspoon. And so, as you mentioned, you weren't going in trying to be Reese or be anything like to be her, but to be yourself.
Right.
Because that's what's really going to help you land parts. And so I'm so glad that you're sharing that with us. Now, also, talking about Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, tell us a little bit about that movie, because I'm not aware about that. I've never seen that movie before.
Yeah.
What was your role in the Billy Lynn's Halftime Walk?
So I was Billy's older sister, Patty Lynn, and then Kristen Stewart was his other sister, portrayed his other sister. And I was directed by Ang Lee. I got to premiere at the New York Film Festival, and basically it's about Billy's. He's been he's a soldier, and he's been in a traumatic situation, and now he has come home to have this kind of hero tour. And it's about him dealing with these two worlds colliding, this kind of soldier world that he's become used to, and the PTSD of coming home and everyone clamoring over him and him not really understanding why.
Right. So you were really dealing with two issues of PTSD.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So now most of us, of course, are aware of, even myself, Sully.
Yeah.
Huge, working alongside, of course, Clint Eastwood, Tom Hanks. Talk to us about your role in Sully.
So for Sully, I got to be a reporter, and
Yay!
So you have to let me know how I did.
Yeah.
So, and obviously Sully is played by Tom Hanks, and the movie focuses on the aftermath of the Miracle on the Hudson. Obviously, Sully in real life landed a plane on the Hudson River after birds had hit both engines and they had engine failure. And it's the aftermath of Sully being interviewed and kind of scrutinized for what he did, but at the same time, it coming out, well, the only reason we're able to do this is because you saved all these people.
Right.
And my role in that was a reporter. I got to ask him a couple of questions as he was coming out of the car.
Right. And so was he really engaging with everybody?
Oh, he couldn't have been nicer. I got to meet him, and actually before we started filming in hair and makeup in the trailer, and he came over and introduced himself to me, and I'm like sitting there, like shaking his hand, like I think I need to tell you who I am.
Right.
I know you're Tom Hanks. you know,
I find that most people who have reached a status on that level, most people that I have met down through the years, they're not anything like that. They are not coming in and walking
completely
in.
agree.
Yeah, they're not walking in with this whole I am somebody. You know, you need to look. They don't have that. You know, when I met Oprah years ago, she when she would come to the station that I worked at, WFSB in Hartford, she didn't even come in with makeup. She would just walk in and go, "Hey everybody, how are you? How you doing?" You know, she wasn't anything like that.
It's exactly the truth. I mean, because Clint Eastwood was the same way. Kristen Stewart was that way, and Ang Lee. All of them, all these, like, I mean, we're talking like A-list, right? People, next level people, and just could not have been nicer, could not have been more collaborative in the acting part of it and the directing part of it. And it just, on both occasions, was just a phenomenal experience.
So I want to mention one more thing about Sully, too, when you were working there on that movie, and we mentioned that, and I remember when it happened, because I feel like it just happened just yesterday, but that was phenomenal to land something, a huge plane, and everybody walks off and you're in the Hudson River. How phenomenal is that?
It was, well, and seeing the movie, because, you know, when you're filming, you get it kind of, you're focused on what's going on for you. And so when you get to the end of it and you get to see this project where hundreds and hundreds of people have worked on it together to bring it together, it's kind of surreal. I remember sitting in the screening out at Warner Brothers studio, and it was just quiet. You know how a lot of times when you go to a movie, and understandably so, I do it too, you get up and you leave when the credits come on, but it was one of those experiences where it was just dead silent. Everyone sat still and just watched. And it gave me chill. It just gave me chill bumps again, because it's just, you realize how invested all of these people are into making this story come together and bringing it to the screen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we have got to go to break, so we want you to don't go away, because we're going to be coming back with more. Jean Tafari Ellison is going to join us, and we're going to talk about everything that Laura is going to be sharing with her company, The Music Box. We'll be right back with more on Local Matters. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Local Matters, where living local never felt so good. I'm Dottie Rimpsey, and of course, I am joined here with Miss Laura Lunday Will, and also joining us on set is Miss Jean Tafari Ellison. Jean, you've been here with us before. You were here with me before earlier, in the top of the year, I'm going to say.
Yes,
you were
thanks for having
here,
me back.
and so it's good to have you back here.
Thank you.
Now, for those of you who are just joining us, Miss Laura Lunday is an accomplished actor, I would say, because she has been working alongside, who leaves Jacksonville State University, and then she becomes an attorney, and then decides, you know what, I've always loved acting because I studied it at JSU, but I'm going to go out to California and see what I can do, and then lands a role with Clint Eastwood in the movie that he directed, Sully, and then working alongside Clint Eastwood. How wonderful is that? So my first question is, Jean, how do you know Laura? What is the relationship?
Well, honestly, we have the same group of friends, and we're all kind of, I guess you could say, artsy. And we met one summer. You guys were doing Eurydice,
Eurydice.
With JSU. And so after Eurydice, they would go and play volleyball. And so my friends would call me and say, hey, we're gonna go play, night volleyball, come on over. So I came and I would play, and then I got to meet Laura, and we were, I don't know, not soul sisters, but you
Soul
know, we were like,
Yeah, we just connected.
we
Yeah.
connected, you know.
Yes.
We had a lot of fun. That was the summer I think that none of us will ever forget. We played volleyball every night.
Professional volleyball players.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're pretty awesome. But I got to see her one night in rehearsal in Eurydice.
Okay.
And I was like, and you know, I like to pride myself on being a theatrical, musical theater
Yes.
performer.
Yeah.
But when I saw her, I was taken aback. I've been playing volleyball with her all summer, and I knew that she was in the theater department. But I mean, I was blown away, and I'm not usually starstruck.
Blown away
but
with her
her
volleyball skills?
Oh, no, well that, yeah. But her acting skills.
Hopefully my acting is better than my
I was
volleyball.
gonna say she is doing, because I understand you got a tennis scholarship
Yeah, I
too.
played tennis at Jacksonville. Yeah.
So
I
it was just
like,
awesome.
So because when you said you were blown away, I was like, wow, she's blown. Like, you,
Really good volleyball
What,
player.
volleyball
I was
player,
blown
act-
away with her acting in Eurydice. I came to one of their rehearsals before we were going to go play volleyball, and I had just been thinking like, wow, we've been hanging out all summer, and I finally get to see. I mean, this is real art. I was really inspired. So.
Wow. Well, good deal. So now, and it's great that you guys connected. You obviously have really formed a wonderful friendship, because you're coming back now to work with Jean's company, the Music Box.
Yes, I am so excited, and I think it's just wonderful what Jean is doing in this community with the Music Box.
Yes.
And really
Yes.
bringing arts into the community. Yeah. She reached out to me, and she was like, "Hey, I have this idea for a workshop. Would you be interested in coming down and teaching and kind of sharing with our community what it would take to get started in the
Yes.
acting world?" And I couldn't be more excited. I'm not trying to pretend like I'm an expert, but I wish I had something like that gave me the kind of jump start,
Yes.
all in one,
Yes.
where it's like, here, this is what you need to do first, and then go from there.
Well, wow. So what do you, I mean, actually, let's go back. I'm just thinking here, when is the actual workshop?
It is July 29th.
Okay, we've got it
And
here.
July 30th from 11 to 3. We're going to actually have it at the Catalyst,
Okay.
which is on 1224 Noble Street. So if you want to get your spot, I would go ahead. Registration was supposed to close on the 15th, but we're going to extend it
Yes.
because, you know,
Yeah.
we're just so excited. We want the community to get this opportunity. I mean, when do you ever get to sit down and really
No,
ask
really.
somebody who's in
Yeah.
the industry and really just ask them the questions that you want to know? And you know, when do you get that opportunity? You know, like we talked about before, Atlanta has lots of opportunities, but we don't really get that here in Anniston, and I wanted to bring that to Noble Street, to Main Street, and I want everyone to come. You know, it's about the experience. You're going to be doing yourself a disjustice if you don't come.
Yes.
So come to the acting workshop.
Is there an age limit? I mean, what if somebody 100 walked in there
I
and
think
said,
that's it. Dottie, you know me.
I mean,
Age is nothing but a number.
age is nothing but a number.
We'll get you going.
We'll get you going. I say all ages because I think it's great from, let's say someone like me. I have a toddler, and I would like to know kind of, he's really got a big personality. What do I do? So this would be a good workshop for me to come to.
As a
so I
parent,
could, as a
yeah,
parent, so I
yeah.
can kind of find out
Yeah.
what, like, you know, what are the red flags? What should I be doing? Should I pay someone, or should I just send his picture out there to anyone? So this is, I mean, this is going to be awesome.
Yes, I have a cousin too. I'm really going to encourage her to come over and take part, because she's like my little second cousin. She's like 3 years old. Huge personality, beautiful. And she really needs to be in that world. She needs to be modeling, doing a number of things. She is so good.
Yeah.
And so I want to encourage you too to come out. Let's go over that date one more time. And is there a cost before we leave?
There is a cost. It's $75 for a 2-day workshop, and you're going to take away so much more than what you're, you know, than what, I mean, you're going to take away a list of professional photographers and how to get an agent. I mean, just, there's no price on it, but it's $75.
Right. Is that for both days or just the one day?
That's for both days.
That's for both days. So that's not that bad.
yeah.
That's for 2 days. And this is,
days,
how
yeah.
long is the workshop going to last?
It's going to be from 11 to 3 each day.
So from 11 to 3.
It's about 4 or 5 hours.
All right. All right, well, we have just about need to wrap it up here at Local Matters, but we hope you will not wrap it up without at least giving them a call. Give Music Box a call if you're interested about having more knowledge about what it's going to take to really break into the business. If it's not for yourself, then maybe for your child or grandchild, all right? So thank you for watching us here on Local Matters, and we look to see you back next week, because if it's local, you know what I'm going to say. It matters. Good night, everybody.
Nobody like